Are you just trying to live, laugh, or love? Or are you just trying to do all of the above? This is the podcast for you. If you're an aspiring comic, a headlining comic, a class clown, or just an average bro or doe looking for a good time, you, my friend, are in the right place. Welcome to the magical world of Just Trying to Podcast. Here we go.
Welcome, triers, doers, and everything in betweeners. This is Just Trying to Podcast with your host, Mike, Tony, Heath. And this week we are talking all about just trying to talent stack. We're going to talk a little bit about comedy, stacking your talents, and generally living, laughing, and loving. This will be part one of a two-part mini-series within Just Trying to Podcast. Part one, we're going to introduce the idea of talent stacking. And what we're going to do is, over the next 2 weeks, so there'll be one podcast in between, but over these next 2 weeks, I'm going to dialogue with listeners around this idea, because I'm very interested around this idea, whether you're a comic, or you're an accountant, or a school teacher, or you're a small business owner. Whatever you're doing, how can you stack your talents in such a way to be you, to profit off of being you, I guess. I don't know, this is something I'm just learning about. I was actually just listening to the School of Laughs podcast with Rick Roberts, and there was a guest on there who was talking about how he was able to leverage this idea of talent stacking in order to market himself as a comedian, actually getting him more gigs. Just Trying to Podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. This episode is sponsored by an in-betweener, Teddy Two Fingers. Teddy Two Fingers. Teddy lives in the great state of Missouri. He lives in St. Charles, Missouri. Thank you, Teddy, for being a in-betweener and sponsoring this episode of Just Trying to Podcast. Here's a short clip from Teddy himself.
Well, honestly, it's been really life-changing listening to it every week and getting to hear the advice y'all give, and it's been really great. Just Trying to Save the Earth, that's my favorite one. It really enlightened me to the issue of space trash. Gave me courage to join the fight. Yeah, I've been a supporter of the podcast for the last 2 weeks, and it's honestly changed my life. I'll be a supporter till I go broke.
You too could be featured on the Just Trying to Podcast by subscribing on Spotify to support the podcast. Click the link in our bio on Instagram or in the links of this show note to become a supporter of Just Trying to Podcast. Now, back to the episode. Also, the sun is out here in Seattle, Washington. I've got this summery shirt on. I remember one time my friend Alyssa said, "Hey, I've got your shirt, your Hawaiian shirt. I got to get back to you." And then I forgot about lending out my Hawaiian shirt to her. And then she returned it to me. And at first I was kind of like, I don't think I ever had this shirt. And then it hit me that I did never own this shirt. I never lent it to Alyssa. Someone else must have lent this shirt that I'm wearing right now to my friend Alyssa. And she mistaked my Missouri showing who lent it to her a long time ago, or I owned this shirt and I forgot about it. I'm pretty sure if this is your shirt, I don't think it's mine, I would love to return it to you. But right now I'm wearing it. I'm enjoying the sunshine here in Seattle, and we're talking all about talent stacking. So that's where I heard about it first. It was on Rick Roberts' podcast, The School of Laughs. It's no longer ongoing, but if you're an aspiring comic or you're a speaker looking to become funnier, I think his line is like, you'll get bigger, better, and more bookable. You'll learn the talents, tricks of the trade if you're a speaker, comedian, or whatever. So check out that podcast. I've liked going back to listen to past episodes. But this episode about talent stacking and this idea of the talent stack that I heard about on the podcast was really first coined by a man named Scott Adams. And Scott Adams is the cartoonist and the creator of Dilbert, that old cartoon comic strip. And what's so cool is, so he wrote this book about how to fail. I think it's how to fail at almost everything and still win big. And here's this basic idea that I think I'm grasping. I have not read the book yet. I'll put the link in the show notes there for you. I also put a link to School of Laughs there so you can reference that. But the idea, okay, so you're not the best at anything. You're like super subpar. You're mediocre at some things, like me. You're mediocre at some things, but you haven't mastered anything. The idea of the talent stack is you put those mediocre things on top of each other, and then now you have a unique stack of talents that's unique to you. And Scott gives the examples that he was a B plus illustrator, he was a B plus writer, and he was a B plus humorist. So he wasn't great at any of those things. He wasn't a great illustrator, he wasn't a great writer or a great humorist. But whenever he put those three things together, that enabled him to create Dilbert. That he couldn't have done any of those things on its own, but when he put it together, he took his ordinary talents that he has, that maybe you're the top 10% or you're a B plus at. What is something you're a B plus at, and something else you're a B plus at, and something else you're a B plus at, and you put it together, and what you do is you escape the competition in your industry by creating a very specific niche. And so I've been thinking about this for myself as I'm thinking about getting into stand-up comedy, is that I don't think I'm the wittiest guy. I am not the best writer. I'm not the best actor to do an act out. But I think I'm probably a D at writing. And I'm probably a C minus at being witty, on the spot. And I think I'm probably a B plus on the act out, on the acting side. Okay, so on this idea of talent stacking, just to think of, are you a good problem solver? Are you a B plus at problem solving? You a B plus at ballet? You a B plus at physical strength? You a B plus listener? Are you a B plus speaker? Just think of three things that you're a B plus at, and then try to imagine, are you using those things in your job right now? Or maybe you're feeling stuck in a job, you're thinking about what's next. You could think about those three things that you're mediocre at, your ordinary talents that by themselves aren't very marketable, but you could put them together and then voila, shabam, you've created the next Dilbert or the next Dilbert of your industry. And so I'm interested in this idea. I know this hasn't been very funny, but I think I'm not always just trying to be just goofy. I do think goofy is one of my talents. And maybe it's confidence is probably more accurate. My confidence, which enables me to be goofy, or maybe they're separate. What do you guys think? Is confidence and goofiness? Well, number one, is goofiness a talent? That's interesting. I think yes, in the entertainment industry, I think it is. Probably is not the best if you're going to try to be an accountant or a CFO. Although Ben Wyatt, his goofiness allowed him to create Cones of Dunshire on Parks and Rec. That's kind of goofy. That's a fictional character, Mike, is what you're saying. That doesn't apply to the real world. Well, if you are just trying to live, laugh, or love, or all of the above, and you want to create your own board game, I say go for it, my friend. This thing is pretty fun to consider around those three. Let's just think of three. Maybe there's five ordinary talents or skills that you have. And when I've been reading about this, I've been trying to learn about talent stack. Is I read this article and they were saying that there's some research around 20 hours. You need 20 hours dedicated to practice to learn a skill. So that's not to master it. I think it's the 1,000-hour theory. You need to spend 1,000 hours doing something to become a master of it. But if you can learn a skill in 20 hours. So what if you thought about, maybe it's not even a skill you currently have. Maybe you have 3 out of the 5 skills of something that you want to do. So maybe it's stand-up comedy. Like you have the ability, you're like a witty person, you have a good sense of humor, and you have confidence, but you don't know how to write a joke, or you don't know how to do public speaking, like just be in front of people. Maybe if you're confident, you can do public speaking, but let's just say just the writing the joke is the skill that you are missing, and you're trying to do stand-up comedy. So read a book, and then you practice writing jokes. You get a book like The New Comedy Bible, a great book by Judy Carter. It will teach you how to write a joke, and then you can spend 20 hours writing a joke. Now let's just say that theory holds up. Now you've gained this skill. You're not a master. You're probably like a D- at it. But over time, you could develop that, and if you put that with your other skills that you have, you could make that unique about you. And I think also if you just thought about your history or your personal history, I don't know if this is outside the idea of the talent stack in particular, but so I'm from Missouri, and that's like a big thing I incorporate into my stand-up comedy. Like I grew up lower middle class, so I incorporate that into my comedy too. And like I just got married. So like those are these unique things that like other people are married, other people are from Missouri, other people are a lower middle class, but I'm like putting these unique things together that is I can't be the best writer or the best actor in stand-up comedy, right? But I'm trying to escape the competition by creating a very specific niche. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to wrap up this week's short potty again. Part 1 of 2. So this one's going to be more brief because I want to hear what you guys think and collaborate, and then maybe have a guest on in 2 weeks to talk about talent stacking. But part 1, and I want to leave you guys with this, is you can not only stack your talents, you can stack your days. I heard about this motivational speaker. He said, I live 3 days while you live 1 day. His first day is from 6 a.m. to noon. His second day is from noon to 6 p.m. And his third day is 6 p.m. to midnight. I don't know. He is still missing 6 hours. I guess that's when he sleeps, so it doesn't count as a day. That's like a night for him. But he's saying that he is living 3 days while we're just living 1. That over a week, he's already lived 21 days while we've only lived 7. You put that over a month. I'm not good at math, but he's saying like you put that over 5 years. I've lived like 3 lifetimes. I've lived like a whole lifetime while you've lived a year. I don't know how the math works on that, but that got me really interested. So I came up with some names for these days so that you could begin to stack your days. So the typical Monday, that's from 6 a.m. to noon. That's Monday. But then noon to 6 p.m. is Moon Day. And then 6 p.m. through, let's just say, the next morning is Might Day. So your first day of the week is Monday, Moon Day, Might Day. And then you got Tuesday, Tune Day, Teeve Day. Or Taunch Day? Teeve Day or Taunch Day. I'm up on the air in that. And then you got Wednesday. You got Wildlife Wednesday. So it starts off with Wednesday, and then it's Wild Day, and then it's Wump Day. So it's Wildlife Wednesday, so that's why the afternoon is Wild Day, and then it's Hump Day. So it's like the end of the middle of the week, so it's like the Hump Day, so it's the Wump Day. And then Thursday is Thursday, Thursday, and Thieve Day. And then, so the eve is like an evening. There we go, Thieve Day. And then Friday, that's in the morning. And then you got Friday, Fun Day, Free Day. Fun Day, Friday, that's in the afternoon. Free Day, because you're out of work. It's after 5, it's after 6, actually. And you're just free, right? And then Saturday is just Saturday, because I believe in having a Sabbath, a day off. God said, I believe that God created us to work 6 days and rest on the 7th, just like he did. So that's what I'm doing. I just got 1 day on Saturday. And then Sunday is Sunday, Soon Day, and Side-Day. Side-Day because it's like, I got to go back to work. So you're kind of sighing like the Sunday scaries. And Soon Day because like afternoon, but also it's about to be the next week. So it's soon to be Monday. And that is how you stack your days. And I don't know if this guy's theory actually works. Like I don't know how he actually lives 3 days in 1 day. But it's a pretty interesting idea. I got talking real fast right there. Felt like I was about to become an auctioneer. You know, all right, this last thing I'll leave you with is I have a big show in Eastern Washington. It is official, folks. On April 20th, hashtag 420, we are putting together the Cheney Comedy Showcase. It is going to be at West Plains Roasters 420. It's going to be the cleanest 420 show in all of Washington. We have our headliner. We have Charles Hall Jr. He is hilarious. He is popping off right now in the Washington comedy scene in Idaho, all over. This guy, you're going to love seeing him. He's going to be our feature, or our headlining comic. And then our feature is a Seattle comedian, Kate Carlson. Carlson, very funny. I haven't got to see her perform comedy live yet, but I've seen a lot of her videos, and she is a mother. She has a lot of kids, and she is hilarious. You're going to love her material. I'll be hosting the night. I'll do a hosting set. It's going to be a hot show, though. There are only 30 tickets available. It is a very VIP special experience. You are not going to want to miss it. Get your tickets now. You can go to any of the links in any of my bios on Instagram, or you can go to my website, Mike Tony Heath, and get your tickets to the Cheney Comedy Showcase. That is going to be at 7 p.m. on 420 in Cheney, Washington at West Plains Roasters. Thank you for West Plains to allowing us to do comedy there. It's going to be a very intimate room, but it's going to be a hot show. And so get your tickets now before they get sold out. And until next time, my friends, stay funny and stay weird.
Great shot!